Alright guys, so in the last video, set up all the accessory drive stuff. So today I want to get the oil pan on and start working on some of the transmission stuff, bleeding the slave cylinder and getting fluid in it and all that kind of junk. So we'll see how far we get and let's get started. I did go ahead and put some black paint over the oil pan. I think it looks pretty nice like this. It's not just regular paint though, this is like a rubberized like sealing paint, just in case there is any other pinholes. It wasn't leaking. I did test it again, it wasn't leaking at all, but just in case it does, decided to go over it with some rubberized coating stuff, and actually doesn't look too bad. Hopefully that'll save me some headaches. If not, it's going in the trash. So that thing is pretty much dry to the touch right now, but it says it takes a couple hours to cure. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to clean the garage because this thing is trashed and it's kind of to the point where it's just distracting me. So I'm going to let that thing cure for a little bit, clean up the garage, and then I'll put it in there. So I'm probably going to have to put a lot of force on it. That's why I want it to completely cure, pushing up on it to get it to seal, because the flange did warp a little bit when I welded it, so I want to try to push up on it as I'm tightening the bolts. And yeah, gonna let that thing cure, clean the garage. Okay, so here's what this thing looks like, all completely dry now. Everything should be decent, so I'm gonna take it and we will toss it in the car really hard. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get this oil pan on. I gotta get the gasket yet, but I'm pretty sure when I took it out I had to leave the pickup tube inside the pan. It didn't come down far enough to clear the pickup tube, so I'm probably going to have to kind of shimmy it all in there together, put the pickup tube up, and then put the pan up. All the oil pan bolts, except for the back ones, I need some M6 bolts. These are all M8 by 125. That's what the oil pan bolts are. But because I have the sump changed, I need some smaller M6 bolts, M6 by 1. Whoops, so we got the M6 by 1, it's just a short one. I'm just gonna use a short one with a lock washer, and that's what's replacing the two rear longer bolts. Here, this is the M6 by 1 thread. So I'm gonna put the pickup tube in the pan, and then I'm gonna lift it up. I do have all the tools that I need with me right now. I do have both of my children in the garage right now with me. So if you hear any weirdness going on, my daughter's hugging me right now. That's what that noise is.
Hello.
Yep. So we're gonna get this thing on. Make sure it all clears. Set it in there like that. Now I'll be able to lift the pickup tube on. So basically when the pickup tube is bolted up, the pan won't clear, pan won't go on. Or maybe it will, I don't know. Yeah, so that's what the issue is right there. The pickup tube is on, but the pan doesn't go back far enough. So I'll actually have to kind of lift them up together. So I'm going to take this board and kind of prop this pan up. See if I can get the pickup tube to clear on the back side. So these are actually the M6 bolts that I'm putting in the back. They're a little longer. I thought the other ones were right, but these are the ones I'm putting in the backside. Long enough to grab. Alright, boy, gentlemen, women's. It's in. It is in. Everything is tight, I think. So should be okay. Actually looks pretty nice. Can't even really tell it's there. Alright, so I'm working on the slave cylinder now. This is just the remote bleeder. And the slave cylinder actually comes, the Collins kit, I bought a slave cylinder line that goes right to the slave and then comes up into here. I just have it going underneath and then up on the inside of the fender liner, and then there's a hole down there, very conveniently placed, that I brought it up through, and it attaches this little fitting right into the line, and then the fitting goes right into that clutch reservoir right there. So So I have the other line off right now. So this fitting will go down like this, and then I can just attach the line to the fitting. Alright, so here the line is, and got it all bolted up. Everything is tight, and it does have enough slack on the bottom side that it's not hitting anything or by the exhaust or anything. So this line, I bought it from Collins with the kit, and this is like an additional $50. I bought the slave cylinder and the line together. They offer like everything that you need to install it, but I kind of did some price checking to see what I could find that was significantly cheaper to order it from them. It was convenient to just buy as much as I could from them. It was like one-stop shop, and you don't have to look around for stuff. And I did get the kit with the slave cylinder and the clutch line. The slave cylinder price was negligible. Not going to find it really too much cheaper anywhere else that was even worth my time to look. And it included the clutch line, or you have an option to get the clutch line with it for like another $50. So instead of finding all the parts and spending all the time and trying to get it for $50, you're not really going to save that much, and just decided to go that route. And it took about 15 minutes to get it installed, and I'm pretty happy with it. All right, so I think that's where I'm going to end it today. I did go through and bleed the clutch. It's still a little spongy. I was just doing it by myself using this little bottle on the ground there. I don't really have that much fluid, so I'm going to redo that tomorrow. Probably have the wife help me or something like that, but I got the exhaust on both sides, so that's all good. Just got to do the remote oil filter adapter, and then I just picked up one of these Transdapt remote oil filter thingies, and I bought some of the line for it. This thing was like 20 bucks. I was gonna make it. I know in a video a while back I said I was gonna cut up the other pan and use that and weld the fittings on and stuff, and this thing was like $20, and then had to buy the fittings and the line, so I think it was still like under 50 or something like that. So still pretty cheap, and that would have taken me probably 3 days to do that. So instead of dicking around with that, I just bought the stuff because it was pretty cheap. So we're gonna do that. So much cheaper buying the parts individually than spending like $200 something on the remote oil filter kit that's for the car. So other than the remote oil filter, after that I can start working on the fuel system and the wiring. So I'll probably use not this harness, so I'm going to pull this out, but the fuel system and the wiring kind of goes hand in hand because I have to figure out where to get the power from for the fuel and fuel pump and all that other stuff. So fuel line is right here. So stock pump, I just got to tap into wherever the wiring is for the factory pump and then run this line over to the fuel rail somewhere. So I do have the intake. I'll probably try to use stock truck injectors for now and fit those in the intake. And I feel like we're close. I feel like we're pretty close. Close, but very far.